I heard you in a recent satsang, Michael, say that whatever Bhagavan determines to happen in one's life will happen. You were talking about free will and fate and so forth. My question is, this statement, in this statement, agency seems to be given to Bhagavan. But it's my understanding that self does nothing. So could Michael please reconcile that fundamental reality with his statement that seems to give agency to Bhagavan, the divine with attributes, with that final ultimate reality where self, Brahman, does nothing and does not obviously have attributes? So that's my question.
Okay, that's a very good question. And Bhagavan has given a very good answer to it. If we, in the 15th paragraph of Nana, I'll read the meaning of the paragraph, but there's one particular phrase here that is particularly important. What Bhagavan says in this paragraph is, just like in the presence of the sun, which rose without icha, that's liking, sankalpa, desire, or yatna, effort, a sunstone, that's a gem, but a particular type of gem, emitting fire, a lotus blossoming, water evaporating, and the people of the world commencing their respective activities, doing those activities and ceasing. That is, all these happen in the mere presence of the sun. And just like in front of a magnet, a needle moving, jivas, that's sentient beings, who are subject to the threefold function of God, that's creation, sustenance, and destruction. That's a Tamil word he uses there, mutoril, or panchakritya, which is a Sanskrit term, which is the 5 functions of God. That's creation, sustenance, dissolution, concealment, and grace. Then this is the important thing, which happened just by the special nature of the presence of God, who is sankalpa rahita, one who is devoid of any sankalpa or volition. Jivas move and subside in accordance with their respective karmas. So what Bhagavan says here is that all these 5 divine functions, creation, sustenance, dissolution, concealment, and grace, all these happen by the special nature of the presence of God. The presence of God means God's own being. As you say, God is just being. So how can we attribute any doership to any agency to him? God doesn't actually do anything, but just by being as he is, everything happens as it's meant to happen. Why is that? Because God is love. Ambe Shivam. Love alone is Shiva. So love is his very nature. Love is his very being. His being is infinitely loving, because in Bhagavan's view, we are nothing. He doesn't see us as anything other than himself. So since he doesn't see us as anything other than himself, he loves us as himself. By his love for us, his infinite love for us as himself, is what we experience as his grace. So it is true, Bhagavan doesn't do anything. But without doing anything, he does everything. This is something Bhagavan often used to use paradoxical statements like this: doing without doing, thinking without thinking, seeing without seeing. So Bhagavan does everything without doing anything. By merely being as he is, everything happens as it's meant to happen. But of course, when we try and describe it, it sounds that we're giving agency to Bhagavan. When we say whatever Bhagavan determines to happen in one's life will happen, that sounds like Bhagavan is a doer. But everything happens in our life as Bhagavan determines it, and Bhagavan determines it just by being as he is, because what he is infinite love. So whatever happens in our life is happening by his grace and is therefore for our benefit.